Fucking dogs are going crazy.
Turkeys.
Oh my goodness. Woo! Damn, I wish it was Thanksgiving. There it is.
Look at that thing.
Okay, that was kind of nutty. Turkeys in my backyard. That's not an everyday occurrence, but this is not a video about turkeys in my backyard. This is a conversation I had with the guy who trained me to be a personal trainer, and we have an honest discussion here on why you might consider having a personal trainer.
Why does someone need a personal trainer?
Oh, because they ain't gonna do it right.
You're not gonna do it right. But we can teach you to do it right, and you don't need a personal trainer forever.
No.
But there are really important reasons if you're deconditioned, if you're new to fitness, why you should start with a personal trainer. But let's talk about realistically, what are some of the benefits?
So you're gonna get a customized program that's for your strengths and weaknesses, right?
Because we will evaluate you and find...
Yeah, you gotta stretch this, you gotta strengthen that.
Right.
And that glute muscle hasn't woken up yet, right?
Yeah.
Let's give you some things, some strategies to wake up certain muscles. You know, because you could do a motion that's supposed to be for your glutes, but if your glutes are asleep, they ain't gonna do it. Your hamstrings are gonna do it, something else is gonna do it.
And how are they gonna know? You're not gonna know. One of the things that a trainer really does well is observes you from the outside and really knows how to target certain parts of your body to get them to fire, right?
Right. So you get that customized program. You get someone who is there to see how well you're doing, see how well you're progressing, but progress you stepwise.
Right.
Like, all right, you got that, now for the next thing.
Right.
You know, and you also have someone there for your motivation. People who are just starting out kind of need somebody to answer to.
Yep.
You know, they need someone expecting them to come in.
Yeah.
You know, like a workout buddy. I mean, if you have a workout buddy, great, go for that, but you need someone coaching you and making sure you're doing things right.
And for a lot of us who are over 50 and maybe are deconditioned is a term we use for out of shape, you know, and especially if you did this when you were younger, you were an athlete, you know, a lot of people come into the gym and they go back to what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that is a recipe for injury. I mean, because all of a sudden you have this body that is not able to do that. So you taught me this approach where, you know, working with people initially, it's like, we gotta wake you up, we gotta stabilize you, we have to do some simple stuff before we're gonna load you up with weight, right? Right,
you do the stabilization, the balance stuff, and then you move to the strength stuff, and then you might move to the sport stuff, you know, the power stuff. And then again, you're gonna move back, you know, instead of keep going and overtraining and injuring, you're gonna go back to the start, do it all over again, maybe at a slightly higher level this time.
Right.
But that's what you're gonna do. I had this client for a while, and then I moved to the club in the city to manage that club, and then came back after a few years. The guy was still doing the same exercises that I'd given him.
Of course.
You know, and he needed to progress those, to do some new stuff so that your body adapts to what stress you give it, what exercise you give it. Which also means that you need to kind of do the same exercises for a little bit.
Yep.
Right? Instead of something new every day, like going to a different class or whatever. So you need to do something long enough that there is that training effect, but then you need to progress it to the next level, or sometimes just change it up altogether.
Right. And that's where a trainer can be really effective. So I try and teach people, and you know, correct me if you disagree, but there's basically, once you're up and running, there's two phases. You know, there's a strength building phase where you're trying to build muscle, 8 to 10 weeks, you know, and then you're gonna go to this balance, endurance kind of thing where you're gonna change it up and you're gonna be doing different things. And I figure if people understand the strength part and they understand the balance part, they're kind of set. They can go from one to the other, back and forth.
You know, you want to be able to switch things up.
Yeah.
You know, and a trainer's a good way to do that.
And coaching and training, and again, correct me because if I have this wrong, there's a reason there are mirrors all over the gym, and it's not because we like to look at ourselves, right? As a trainer, as I understand it, there's kind of 3 phases that people go through. And the first phase is the external. I'm watching you do the exercise. I'm correcting you. I'm making sure you got it right. That's phase 1, because someone's new. Phase 2 is I want them in front of a mirror. I want them to start visually seeing, all right, this is how it looks when, you know, you're thrusting properly. This is how it looks when, you know, your body is in alignment. And so they can look into the mirror and they can see. And the third phase is when internally you feel it. You all of a sudden can coach yourself at times, and you realize when things are going wrong.
Yeah, and all those things can happen at the same time, right? Because you're coaching them to feel a certain muscle as they're moving through a certain range of motion, right? So they're looking at it and like, oh yeah, that doesn't look right and it doesn't feel right, and then they can correct it.
Most of the exercises that we're going to give to people target a muscle. They don't target a joint. And so one of the things I try and get people to key into when you're doing an exercise, whether it's a free weight, whether it's in a machine, wherever you are, think about the muscle that you're working. And if I'm working my bicep, but my elbow hurts, that's telling me I'm doing something wrong, right? We're not working our joints.
Well, if the muscle is attached to the joint, so if the joint hurts, that's an issue.
That's an issue, right? But if you are in the right plane of motion, if you are at the proper weight, you shouldn't have those problems. But if you do have those problems, that's when you grab someone like John. A lot of people are afraid to talk to us, like it's going to cost them money to ask us a question when they're in the gym. Right. And I'm happy to answer a question. I'm happy to help people.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. Someone came in and said they had some pain that was like sciatic pain. I gave her some advice.
Yep. If you are starting back in the gym and you are interested in getting a trainer, look at trainers working with people, pay attention, see if you like what they're about, and have a conversation with them. And if you don't hear what you like, if you ask them questions and you're not getting back, walk the other way. All right. You deserve a good trainer. You deserve someone who is competent.
One of the things that I hear all the time, though, is that I've got to get in shape before I see my trainer, right? Because they feel embarrassed or they feel like they're wasting our time because we only want to work with elite athletes. No, that's who we specialize in. That's we actually want to take someone from square one, get them before they have some bad habits and before they've made some mistakes. So we want people from who are raw.
So don't be afraid of trainers. Don't be afraid of us. We don't bite.
So if you made it this far, you enjoyed the conversation between John and I. And I put together a playlist. There are several videos where we cover a variety of subjects. And really, this is not about selling you anything. This is not about convincing you to do anything. This is all about giving you some honest information around fitness that hopefully you find useful.